Welcome to our Crypto News in 10, a daily podcast bringing you the latest news about crypto in under 10 minutes. It's Saturday, May 16th, 2026, and we're tracking 5 stories shaping the crypto conversation as we head into the weekend. First, Bitcoin slipped below $79,000 as hotter than expected US inflation revived risk-off sentiment. Second, in Washington, the Senate Banking Committee advanced the Clarity Act, potentially the most consequential market structure bill since the ETF era began, setting up a floor fight. Third, security is back in the spotlight as Kraken migrates its wrapped Bitcoin rails to Chainlink's CCIP after April's cross-chain turmoil. Fourth, Tezos rolled out a quantum-resistant private payments prototype on testnet, a timely nod to the harvest now, decrypt later concern. And fifth, watch supply dynamics. Arbitrum's scheduled unlock hits later today, a data point traders will be watching. Let's start with the market move. Bitcoin dipped under 79,000 on Friday as inflation worries revived the higher for longer rates narrative and put pressure on risk assets broadly. Bloomberg flagged the downdraft as investors digested the latest US producer price data and repriced rate cut odds. If you're tracking macro spillovers, the 10-year Treasury yield popping to around 4.5% helps explain the cross-asset drag, yields up, duration and risk assets down. A morning note from MXC points out that's the highest level since last May, underscoring how sensitive crypto remains to front-end inflation surprises and bond market moves. Stay mindful of the key technicals traders are watching. Holding the 78 to 79,000 zone into the weekly close often colors Monday's risk tone. Sources: Bloomberg and a market note from MXC. Zooming out, the policy backdrop in DC just got more interesting. On Thursday, the Senate Banking Committee voted to advance the Digital Asset Market Clarity Act, better known as the Clarity Act, sending it to the full Senate. Decrypt reports the vote was narrow and bipartisan, with debate centering on how to treat stablecoin yield, platform obligations, and guardrails around market manipulation. Cointelegraph's recap adds that more than 100 amendments were floated during markup, with Democrats split and ethics provisions from limits on officials owning or promoting crypto to conflict of interest rules emerging as flashpoints. Bottom line, the industry wants a clear, investable framework, while skeptics want tougher consumer protection and anti-corruption measures baked in. Now the calendar math matters. Leadership has to find floor time and, if it passes, align with the House before the July recess some in the administration have publicly dangled. Sources: Decrypt and Cointelegraph. Story 3, cross-chain security and a notable migration. Kraken says it's moving its wrapped Bitcoin product, KBTC, from Layer 0 infrastructure to Chainlink's Cross-Chain Interoperability Protocol, CCIP, as its exclusive cross-chain middleware going forward. The move follows April's KelpDAO exploit, attributed by several researchers to a cross-chain configuration issue, which rattled confidence in parts of the bridging stack. Across the industry, several protocols have been re-evaluating their cross-chain providers since the roughly $292 million Kelp incident, with many opting for CCIP's more defense-in-depth posture. What matters here isn't token price chatter, it's stack composition. Wrapped assets and tokenized collateral rely on strong messaging guarantees. Expect more belt and suspenders designs, multi-verifier setups, rate limits, and independent node quorums, especially for products that touch customer assets or institutional flows. Sources: Decrypt and Cointelegraph. Before we continue, here's a message from our sponsors.
Need elite developers fast? Elite Coders connects you with rigorously vetted senior engineers in 24 to 48 hours. Staff augmentation, dedicated teams, or full project delivery. We've got you covered. Visit elitecoders.co to get started today.
All right, let's get back to it. Fourth, a forward-looking technical milestone. Tezos launched a quantum-resistant private payments prototype on testnet. The design uses post-quantum cryptography alongside ZK-Stark proofs to shield transaction data and mitigate the harvest now, decrypt later risk. The idea that adversaries could store today's encrypted traffic and unlock it once quantum machines mature. Coverage highlights the engineering trade-offs, larger proof sizes and data availability considerations, and notes that industry leaders increasingly frame quantum migration as a coordination challenge, not just a technical one. If 2024 and 2025 were about getting tokenization and ETFs live, 2026 and 2027 may be about privacy that's both institution-ready and quantum-aware. Keep an eye on interoperability and wallet support. It's one thing to pilot a PQC scheme on a testnet. It's another to roll it safely to millions of users without breaking UX or composability. Sources: Cointelegraph and Decrypt. Finally, supply mechanics. Arbitrum scheduled unlock lands today, Saturday, May 16th, at roughly 9:30 UTC. On-chain calendars show about 92.65 million ARB hitting circulation, just under 1% of released supply, primarily tied to team and investor allocations on a rolling vesting cadence. Unlocks don't dictate price by themselves, but they can shift near-term order book dynamics, especially when broader risk sentiment is shaky. Traders will be watching whether market makers pre-positioned inventory and whether programmatic distributions get absorbed quickly across centralized and on-chain venues. If you're gauging impact, pair the unlock size with realized volatility, open interest, and perp funding. If funding flips sharply negative into the event without spot distribution, squeezes can cut both ways. Sources: Defilama unlocks, CoinCarp event listings, and a CCN preview. Quick recap before you head out. Bitcoin lost altitude into the weekend as inflation and yields weighed on risk assets. The Senate Banking Committee advanced the Clarity Act, setting up a consequential floor debate on America's crypto rulebook. Kraken joined a growing list pivoting cross-chain infrastructure to Chainlink's CCIP after April's bridge-related shock. Tezos pushed the envelope on privacy with a quantum-resistant testnet prototype. And Arbitrum's unlock hits today, a reminder that tokenomics still matter. We'll be back tomorrow with the next set of movers and shakers shaping crypto in 10. Thanks for listening and see you tomorrow.